want to start making your own clothes. Maybe you want your clothes to fit you perfectly, maybe you're sick of fast fashion options, or maybe you have another amazing reason to pick up this awesome hobby. But you might be feeling like, but how do I actually get started doing this? Don't worry, I've got you. I wasted months and years trying to figure it out, but now after 20 years of sewing, making, and wearing my own clothes, I have narrowed this process down to just 5 simple steps. That's what I'm going to share with you in this video. The first step is to get a sewing machine. Hand sewing takes way too long. Nobody has time for that. Now, the best place to get your first sewing machine is to actually ask your friends and family if they have one you can borrow. A lot of people have stored away sewing machines in closets, they're hiding somewhere. This is great because you can borrow it, you can try it out, you can see what you like, and decide if sewing is really for you before buying your own machine. Now, if you can't find one to borrow and you're looking to buy, the best place to look and get a good deal on a machine is Facebook Marketplace. There are machines all over. Just make sure that you message the seller and ask them a couple of questions. Ask them, when was the last time the machine was used? Is it functional? Does it have all the parts? Things like this. The best people to find are people who tried sewing and realized it wasn't for them because their machines are brand new and you're going to get a great discount. And people who started sewing, loved it, and are now upgrading their machines. That means they've been sewing on their machine, but they've taken care of it. There's nothing wrong with it. It definitely works. So both of those scenarios are perfect. But what you do not want to do is go to the thrift shop. If you go to Goodwill or a thrift shop, antique shop, these kinds of things, those machines typically are not working. They're more like aesthetic, pretty old machines, but you're going to have to buy that machine and then give it serviced, and that's going to add an extra cost. It just makes the whole process much more difficult when you're just trying to get started and see if you even like the hobby. So, Facebook Marketplace, yes. Thrift shops, antique shops, no. And if for some reason you don't like the idea of thrifting your machine and you can't find one to borrow, the last place to look is at a quilting shop. Quilt shops typically sell sewing machines, and you have the ability to go in, test drive them, use them, see what you like. And you can ask people there about the machines. You can ask questions to a real person and get real answers. If none of these options work out for you, you always have the internet. You can just jump on Amazon and look for a sewing machine. Now, a sewing machine is typically going to cost somewhere between $100 to $300, and I would recommend looking for one of the bigger brand names. That's going to include Brother, Singer, Janome, Pfaff, and Viking. Okay? And a really big note here, there are these specialty smaller sewing machines that are cheaper and people are really prone to wanting to buy them to try. Do not do it. Okay, spend a little bit more because these smaller machines are actually really difficult to sew on. The parts are wobbly, they're not well made, and it makes sewing really hard. I have sewn for 20 plus years. I love it. When I sew on those machines, I hate it. Okay, they really make your life miserable. So save yourself the headache and the confusion with that. Buy a actual good sewing machine from a reputable brand. Okay, now, which features should you be looking for when you buy a sewing machine? There are really only 3 that you need to have, and pretty much every sewing machine has them. It is a straight stitch, a zigzag stitch, and a buttonhole. Okay, those are the 3 stitches we use to make pretty much all the clothing that we wear. Isn't that awesome? So don't worry, you don't need a super fancy machine with 1,000 stitches and tons of fancy features. It's not necessary to start making your own clothes. But if you're wanting to spend either a little bit more or make sure you have a little bit of some of the nicer features to have, I would look for an automatic needle threader. This makes threading your needle so much easier. And if possible, a speed adjustment dial like this. Some beginners find that the sewing machine is quite fast, so being able to turn the speed down and make it go slower can make sewing feel much easier when you're getting started. If you are nervous and anxious about buying your first machine, you would really like to have someone there to ask questions, help you with this, and make sure you get started on the right way and not get lost or confused anywhere, then definitely check out the pinned comment below. I have put together a step-by-step roadmap to take you from absolute beginner to actually wearing your first piece of clothing in just 6 weeks. So if that would help you out, check it out down below. Now that we have the sewing machine figured out, there's a couple other sewing tools you're also going to need. The first one is a nice sharp pair of scissors. Now, if your scissors are dull, you're going to struggle to cut your fabric. Ugh, it makes sewing projects take so much longer and it's so frustrating. So a good recommendation is to just buy a new pair of scissors. You don't need anything fancy, and then use those just for fabric. That way you'll know they're always sharp. My favorite are these 3.5-inch Fiskars. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I just really think they have good scissors. So once you have scissors, you're going to need a seam ripper. A seam ripper is how we take out stitches when we've done something wrong. And since none of us are perfect, we're bound to make mistakes, and that's all part of learning. Not a problem, but you'll definitely need that seam ripper. Now, seam rippers do get dull over time and you will have to replace them, so there's no point in buying a really super fancy expensive seam ripper. At the same time, buying the cheapest seam ripper tends to be that the seam ripper is 50-50 chance if it's going to be dull when you buy it. You don't want a dull seam ripper because it means you are much more likely to actually put holes in your projects. Ugh, don't do that. So buy one step up from the cheapest seam ripper you can find. It's typically going to be like $2 to $3, and the cheapest one is like $1 or $2. Okay, so not the cheapest, but you also don't need anything too expensive. Next on the list, iron. If you don't want your sewing projects to look homemade and crafty, you need to iron them. So just get any old steam iron that you can find laying around, thrift it, buy a new one, get a cheap one, does not matter, but you will need one, and you'll need an ironing surface to use it on. Next is a flexible tape measure because we're making clothes and they need to fit our bodies, and the only way that can happen is if we measure our bodies so we know what size to make the clothes. And that's exactly what we will use these flexible tape measures for. Now, you can buy a regular one like this, but they're hard to store and they're messy looking and I hate it. It makes my OCD crazy. So I prefer these where you can actually roll them up with pressing just the button on the back. Now, these are really nice and they just cost usually $1 or $2 more than the giant spaghetti ball ones. So whatever one you want, just make sure you have one in your sewing kit. You'll also want a pack of sewing machine needles. Your sewing machine does have a needle on it, and it is the fastest, easiest point of your machine to break. It's built that way so nothing else on your machine gets damaged, but that means you're going to want to have spares. It's a really good idea to buy a pack, a multi-pack like this that has lots of different sizes, because you can use each of these for different types of fabric. You'll have whatever you need on hand. Now, the smaller numbers are for lighter weight fabrics, silk, chiffons, kind of see-through materials. The middle is what we will use almost all the time for fabrics that we use for most clothing. And then the higher numbers are for things like denim and canvas. And of course, with needles, we need to also talk about thread. For your sewing machine, you're going to look for all-purpose 100% polyester thread. This is going to work beautifully in your machine. Do not buy the giant value pack of rainbow thread. I know this looks so enticing, it's so pretty, but that thread quality is typically very low and it tends to jam up your machine, break, make lots of weird things happen, and then you start thinking you're bad at sewing when really it's just bad quality thread. So don't do this. Buy nice quality thread. A Gutermann is one of my absolute favorites. But if you go to the fabric store and they have a big wall of threads, anything they have there should be good to go. You're also going to need straight pins. This is how we pin our fabric together for when we're sewing. The good tip to look for here is make sure that the end of the pin has a big brightly colored something on it so you can find them. When you're sewing, these are going to fall on the floor, they're going to get stuck in your project, and you're not going to see them. The bigger that little topper is and the more brightly colored, the more likely you're going to see it and not step on it or stab yourself. I will make another note here. People also are really enjoying using clips in place of pins. Now, you must have sewing pins because there are certain things when you're sewing that you can only use pins for and clips will not work. But sometimes you can interchange them. You can use either one, and people tend to find that clips are a little bit easier to use. The totally preference thing up to you, but you will need the pins. The clips are optional. Now, a big part of sewing is actually drawing certain shapes on our fabrics. So we're going to need some kind of pencils and pens to draw on our fabric. There are a ton of them out there. You can test and try different ones to see which ones you like the best. But my favorite are the Frixion pens, the chalk pens, and these chalk pencils. So we'll see with the Frixion pens. Again, I am not affiliated with them in any way. I just really like them. But the pen draws very easily on all different kinds of fabrics. It doesn't move the fabric as much as other things do. And when we go and wash and or iron our projects, those lines are going to turn a very, very pale white, turn almost invisible. Oh, they are so nice. They're my favorite pen. But what if we have a dark fabric? This pen is not going to show up. So we need other options. One option is a chalk pen like this. You'll see inside there is loose chalk that moves around, and on the tip is this little wheel. Now when I take this and I roll it across the fabric, that wheel spins and it dumps chalk onto the fabric. This helps because it means it's not going to be dragging and moving the fabric while we're doing this, but it means that this is a very easy to wipe off line. You'll see if I wipe my hand across this, the line has basically disappeared. So we'll have to be very gentle with our projects and make sure we don't accidentally erase the lines before we need to. Which brings me to my actual favorite chalk option, and it is these pencils. When I drag it across the fabric, you will see that it makes a nice line. It doesn't drag or move the fabric. And yes, I can still wipe it off some, but not as easily as the chalk wheel. Okay? So those are my favorite. Again, there are a ton out there. Test them, try them. You'll see which one you like the best. And the last two sewing tools you'll need are safety pins. You will use these from trying on projects to pulling elastic through tunnels. Lots of different times in sewing that we use these. And you'll also need hand needles. The very end of a sewing project is almost always hand sewing something pretty small just to finish the project. So you'll want to make sure you have a pack of these in your sewing toolbox. And once you have those, you have everything you need to get started sewing. Now, are there a ton more tools out there? Yes. Do you need them to get started? No. So don't get overwhelmed buying tons and tons of tools. Get just these and get started. Step number 3, it's picking your fabric. Now, fabric, there's two big categories here, woven and knit. Woven is any fabric that is not stretchy. Think about bed sheets, curtains, button-down shirts, slacks, okay? But knit is fabric that is stretchy. So think about t-shirts, hoodies, yoga pants, okay? Now, of these two categories, the easier one to work with is the one that does not stretch. So woven fabric. So for your first couple of projects, you're going to want to look for fabric that is not stretchy. And the easiest, best fabric to find for this, because it's our first project, we probably don't want to spend a ton of money because we're going to be practicing, we might mess up, things like that. Thrift some old bed sheets. Cotton and linen bed sheets are some of the best fabric you can use to get started. It's cheaper than buying fabric new. You have a ton of fabric to work and play with to see what happens so you're not stressing about messing it up. And there are a lot of beautiful bed sheets out there. I actually sew most of my clothing from used bed sheets, and nobody has ever been able to tell that it used to be a bed sheet. So definitely for your first couple of projects, thrift some 100% cotton or 100% linen bed sheets. It's going to make your projects turn out beautifully, and it's going to save you so much money. Step number 4 is picking your project. What should you make first? Now, the first piece of advice I will give you is do not use a sewing pattern. I don't care how beginner friendly, easy, level 1, anything that the sewing pattern says. Sewing pattern is going to assume that you already know what seam allowance is, that you know what grading is, that you know what grain line is. There is so much assumed knowledge even in the beginner patterns. So don't do that to yourself. Instead, find a project you can make that doesn't need a pattern. There are entire projects, books I have here on projects you can make without patterns. Google this. Or better yet, at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you my entire playlist of projects you can make, clothing projects you can make that don't need a pattern, okay? So look for a project you can make, no pattern needed. Now, another thing here is that it's really common for beginners to be given the advice, make a pillowcase, make a tote bag, do something easy to start with. I hate this advice because if you don't like tote bags, if you don't like pillowcases, you're going to be forcing yourself through this project instead of enjoying it, and you might end up giving up. A lot of beginners have told me this. Don't do it. Instead, pick a project you're actually excited about. Even if it is a little bit more advanced, it's going to be so much more fun and enjoyable and rewarding for you, and you're going to stick with it because you're excited about it versus like, oh, dumb pillowcase. Anyway, so don't use a sewing pattern, but do pick a project that you are excited about. And step 5 is to actually sit down and make your first project. So you're going to take the first 4 steps, get all your supplies together, get your machine, get your fabric, pick your project. Now for step 5, we're going to sit down and actually make it. Now I know that's a lot to take in just to say make this. So I'm going to post a couple of things here for you. 1, this is my video on how to set up your sewing machine and start sewing. That will make this process much easier. 2, here is my playlist on all the projects you can make that don't need a pattern. But don't forget, if getting started is stressing you out, you're worried, you want to have a friend there to help walk you through all this step by step, and you can ask questions, get support, all of that, then be sure to check the pinned comment below for my step-by-step roadmap that has live support from me. So I hope that answers all of your questions. If you have any more, let me know down below, and good luck on making your first piece of clothing.